Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherry Hansen. Thank you for joining me today. I'm out in the woods of Vergas, just a little bit out of the country, and I'm with Jody Markert. Thank you, Jody, for joining me today. We're in your shop, and you have a very unique hobby that you incorporate, I know, into your business too, but it's called blacksmithing. And a lot of people out there, I guess I'm dating myself here. I know what blacksmithing is, and so I think you get a generation down below. They're like, "What's blacksmithing?
Yep.
What is it, Jody?"
Blacksmithing is the way they used to do things 100 years ago. They didn't have welders. They didn't have all the modern conveniences, so they would heat metal up red hot, hammer it out, bend it, make things out of it, and they made a lot of stuff was made in the blacksmith shop.
Well, and you actually mentioned to me that there is still a need, and there are still blacksmithers out in our communities and stuff right today.
There are still some full-time blacksmiths that find the niche of customers that like the stuff they make and go to different, craft type places with them and stuff like that.
They can do that.
Yep.
Now you've got some different tools and different machines here, and what do we got going here? What's this?
Okay, this is called a Triphammer. It's an antique machine. It was actually run off a line shaft with a wide belt, which mine has got a motor on it, but they would have had a shaft up above with a belt coming down. And it was used for different things, but probably the most important thing it was used for was for plowshares, for drawing out plowshares. As they would wear down, the farmers would bring them into blacksmith and they would draw them back out because they were made thicker than they had to be when they're new, and then they would lengthen them back out when they wore down.
How old is this thing?
I don't know exactly how old this one is, but they would date back, I'm sure, over 100 years.
Really?
Yep.
Now with blacksmithing, heat is involved, and so you got is this called like a forge?
This is a forge here. Now this is a gas forge, which they wouldn't have had back in the old days. Would have been a coal forge. I also have a coal forge, but we're not using it today just for the convenience of the
because I think I get to make something, right?
Yeah, we're gonna turn you into a blacksmith
today.
Yeah,
do I get the whole? Yeah, okay. So that sounds good. And then this over here, Jody, show me some of the tools.
This is kind of the main thing is the anvil.
Okay.
And
this has had some wear.
Yeah. Actually, for an old one, this one's in pretty good shape. It's not in fantastic shape, but there's a lot worse ones out there. And then you would use, I'll get a few tools here. This is called tongs, and most blacksmiths made their own tongs.
Okay, yeah, you can see that those are actually, all right, yes.
Yep. And then you would take your hot metal and you would be holding it with your tongs, and you would take your hammer and hammer against the anvil.
Oh, okay.
Which we're going to be
doing
in a little bit.
Okay, all right. And so
here's a couple more.
Show me a couple more of the tools that you end up using with that.
More tools. This here would be, if you need something held down and you're working by yourself, you could just slide this in here and you push down on this and see.
Sure, then it stays. Okay.
Yep.
We feel that we've come so far with technology and everything, but I think our ancestors really knew, because they worked by themselves and they did not have all the modern conveniences, but they made it work.
Yep. Like, let's say the electricity went out, I could still do everything I'm doing here with this.
Yeah, you could. Okay, how do we get started on making something?
Okay.
What's our first steps,
We're
Jody?
going to make a poker.
All
fire
right,
poker.
like a fire poker, all right.
And we're going to find you a hammer that's not real heavy.
That works, yeah. Although
we'll have you use that one. It's a little bit
lighter. All right, that one works. I think I can handle that one.
I've just got a couple stages. Here's one that's finished.
All right, so this is my finished product, what it's going to look like, all right?
And this, I've got this much done on this one, so we have you don't have to, but usually we put a twist or something in them to make them dress them up a little bit, make them look nicer.
All right.
And
make it look like you've actually done something with it.
Yep. And this is what it looks like
when you start. Okay, and so this is just a piece of metal.
Yep, it's just a piece of square stock.
Okay, and where do you get square stock metal like this? You just purchase it like from a...
Locally.
Locally, yeah. Okay.
I buy most of my stuff from Perm Steel.
Perm steel.
Perm,
Okay.
so-
And so this is just a piece of steel. All
Yeah,
right.
Just a piece of regular steel.
All right. And so I'm assuming I take this, and then I go
And
from
you're
there.
gonna- yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to light up the forge then.
All right. So when you light up the forge, and like you said, this is a gas one. A lot of you know Jody. He had Jody's Auto Body, has it in Vergas, and he's also got his Anytime Welding, and so you just carry that
Yep,
through.
anywhere
and
welding,
The
yep.
welding and welding
Yep,
and
so-
blacksmithing are pretty
Sometimes I
similar.
mix the two together on
ya?
some things, yep.
Okay.
Sometimes I use a little. Okay, so now I'll ask you to don't stand in
Back.
front of
All
us
right.
when we light
so
it.
we're going to watch him. So Jody, how often do you get out here and able to be in your blacksmith shop?
About once a week.
Okay.
About once a week.
That's ready to go, and we're lighting up that forge, and whoa. Got that ready to go. Got some real intense heat going on there. Okay.
Now it's going to be loud, so.
It's going to be loud. Okay.
I can turn this down as it warms up, but
Okay. And so how long does it normally take to warm up? Not very long.
no.
Okay,
no,
so then you take
we'll
your
put
metal.
this in here.
All right.
Okay.
What kind of degrees do you get with that kind of? How hot does that get? Do you know?
Boy, I don't
Yeah,
know,
you don't
but
even- okay.
hot enough to melt metal if you really wanted
Right.
it to.
Okay.
What you're going to start out with here is you're just going to hammer this down flat,
Okay. All right.
and then you'll have to hammer a little bit this way too as you're going, because it's going to widen out. So
So we'll be taking that, and you know what? We'll bring that out, and I think you're going to find out that number one, I'm not overly artistic, but Jody's got confidence in me here. I know that you've got people that come out and learn a few things from you too at other times. So, all right, what's our next step? We got to wait till it gets hot, I suppose.
yeah.
Okay, Jody, you want to tell me what are some of the other things that you make when in your blacksmithing? You know, just to kind of talk about some of, like, I noticed that you had like a wine.
Yeah, should we
Yeah.
come over here? Or?
No, that's fine. We can
Okay.
just talk about it.
I make all kinds of stuff: wine glass holders, cooking utensils,
Okay.
even small stoves, fire grates,
Oh, sure.
just anything.
So,
I made hinges. You
okay.
know,
Now, where do you find a market for this, Jody, as far as being able to...
that's the hard part.
That is the
marketing
hard
it.
part, yeah.
I go to a few trade shows, and
Okay.
sometimes people will order something from me. You know, order a fire set or something, or
Sure. And, you know, and it's just nice to have that, to know that you're doing that, and for people to know that, you know, okay, I do need something like that. Do you ever get anything from the Amish communities that are in the area? They probably do their own.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
done welding for the Amish,
Welding
but
for
not
them.
blacksmithing.
All right. Well, you're going to be able to see me make one of these fire pokers, and you're going to want to stay tuned and turn in next week, because Jody's going to stay with me, and we're going to get this thing done. And so, Jody, I thank you for joining me today. Next
you.
week, we're going to show how it actually goes.
Okay.
All right. You have a good day in Vergas. See you next week.